At the center of all love I stand, and from that center I, the soul, will outward move. From that center I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group and throughout the world. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group and throughout the world. As the
Good evening, everyone. This is Michael, and for a few days here, I'll be doing some substituting for Tuya. She's up in the north at the Little Bear Meditation Center. And sometimes we have to divide equipment, and we run into a few little technical problems. I don't think that any one of us is overly endowed with the fifth ray, except of course we all have all the rays in that sense. I remember when I visited the Lucis Trust in London in 1987, one of the workers there, Jim Bourne, a venerable guy and really faithful to the task, he says, "Well, Michael, don't you think we have all the rays, all of us?" And it really made me think. Well, tonight we have the closing of our 5-day pentagram approach to the Virgo full moon this time. And DK, seems to think about these things in odd numbers. Well, of course you can be active on the day of the full moon, and we always try to be. Then the 3-day, the 5-day, the 7-day approach. We're choosing the pentagram approach because he emphasizes it quite a bit. And of course our sign, our constellation, a very great constellation, which is like, in a way, the foundation of our material and even psychic life, is Virgo. And you can see a little image of it there. has in it a very powerful star, Spica, connected with that grain of wheat. And the wheat is said to, come from Venus. We have so many gifts from Venus, so even though Venus is not particularly orthodoxly powerful in Virgo, it's said to fall in Virgo. It has a kind of a strange exaltation in that particular sign. So here, we think ahead, to the month in which we'll be, astrological month it is, of course, that we'll be using Virgo, and we think about, in a little bit of internal silence linked with each other, we think about the light of our soul, which is the light of the one soul. At a certain point we don't use the thought, my soul and thy soul. There's only one soul in all the universe, one being of sensitivity. And sometimes in the quiet we really can commune with that factor that we speak about so much, the soul. That's what we want to do, commune. With that something that remains when the personality just falls away as an instrument, only later to be regathered. But what are we when that personality falls away? And how does Virgo, with its strong second ray and sixth ray, nurture the soul in the human being? It's one of those triple signs like Scorpio, and really God the Father, God the Son or Soul, God the Mother, the manifestation, all are combined in this wonderful whole constellation that was so powerful in the second part of the last solar system. And if we want to be disciples, well, you know the old saying, cleanliness is next to godliness. We learn how to become immaculate on all three levels so that we can rise up into the presence of the Son. That's known as the Ascension of Mary, who stands for the entire material aspect of our earth, and for discipleship, obedient discipleship. Not my will, Father, but thine be done. That's what every monad says. So we, align with our sisters and our brothers who are attempting to create within the chalice. We can look at it as the egoic lotus, that quality of buddhi, which is the Christ energy. There are egoic lotuses that don't yet have that fullness of buddhi, the fullness of Christ, but we're trying to here in the Blue Rose Sisterhood, we're trying to make that real. Not just the thing of thought, but an energetic reality. And we work always with triangles. We used one of the Christ songs, one of the mantrams, in the center, or at the center of all love I stand. And when we are effective in the triangles, the great love energy of the second ray soul of our planetary scheme comes in. That's what the reappearance of the Christ is all about, to try to bring in that second ray soul through a triangulated etheric body. And so these triangles of love and goodwill are so important. And of course, light and the will to good are methods as well. One day, the will to good, which has on our planet a lot of love in it, will be the way that disciples can work. So we'll be reviewing how you can participate in this triangles work through the Blue Rose Sisterhood in a particular way involving the will to good. It's a very beautiful picture, very blue, and we imagine, well, you know, in a way our solar logos is a blue rose, a blue flower. We have every solar system shows itself as an unfolding flower, and we are here in the midst of this great heart center, the blue logos, the indigo logos. And we want our chalice filled with the Christ energy, and here we see that happening. So we imagine the blue roses on our shoulders and on our heart as a symbol of the manifestation of the chalice that we are building. And by the time 2025 comes along, we hope that all of us are brimming with the love wisdom energy, as well as the energies of will and intelligence. So think about for a moment, meditate, how do you fill your chalice with the soul quality of our planet and the soul quality actually of our solar logos? How do we do that? It sounds so simple, but the Tibetan repeats it: if we can serve and spread love in our surroundings, we're doing something really important for bringing in the soul aspect of our planetary logos. And you notice on the chalice the overlap there, and the Vesica Pisces. We can think of it as the overlap of the soul and personality, and the gradual infusion of the personality by the soul. Those are just words until the energetic feeling of it becomes real. So we serve and we spread love in our surroundings. And that's because, we are that. We spread light because with the Christ we try to be the light of the world. And with the Christ again, although it's a big stretch, we try to be the love of the world. Our opportunities are based upon real astronomical science. Venus is our planet of emulation, in a way demonstrating the completed soul infusion and setting an example for the earth. And over the years there are these conjunctions of Venus with the sun, and we look at the alignment. It's an 8-year period that occurs, every 100 and something years. And the next, I think it occurred last in 2012, and in 2117, 105 years. From that time, the Aquarian Age begins, so said the Tibetan. So somehow the pentagram is there over an 8-year period, and we know how important 8 is as the number of the Christ. So, just the way the planetary logos, ours, strives to be more like Venus and to accomplish what Venus has accomplished, so we try to be more like the angel of the presence, our soul nature. And from our little human state try to accomplish what the angel of the presence, once a human being long ago, has now accomplished. So the year 2117, 2117, it's the next great opportunity, and it will coincide with the beginning of the Aquarian Age that we're all working so hard to bring forward in the right way. And here we see kind of a wonderful diagram. It's all, in a way, astronomically generated, and the fives are very clear. Just read what is said in Esoteric Psychology Volume 1 about the fifth ray Lord, and how close that Lord is to the love energy, and of course how close to Venus with its fifth ray soul. There's a great intelligence behind all we're doing, and we try to cooperate with it. So let's ponder on, in our own way, becoming the rose, and therefore more like Venus ensouling the earth, and more like the angel of the presence ensouling us as personalities. In this solar system, the blue logos sets the example, and all of us are, in our own way, trying to become symbolically like a blue rose. So we can always visualize that. To be a blue rose is a great soul achievement. And we will be imitating our solar logos, whatever our ray may be in the soul. It's really all a sub-ray of the great indigo love wisdom ray. So here you see the example of the fivefold mind, especially the higher mind that the pentagram stands for, and the blue of the great second ray of love wisdom. At the heart of it all, we have to really learn how to help each other, and that's a great psychic gift. That's true psychism, to know the need of another and then to know what to do about it, how to help. Now, we have sort of our, mandala, our mala, our rosary, whatever you want to call it, to help keep the mind on track. And we have the opportunity now to say our sacred name, and actually today's name, among the 108 names leading from the day on which the birth of Mary is celebrated to the birth of the Christ. Today's name is Paramatmika. Paramatmika, and it means the omnipresent, or omnipresence, plus your Lakshmi name. So let's use our malas, or whatever way of counting we have, and with a deep awareness of the meaning of, as much as we can, of omnipresence, plus our Lakshmi name, we will inwardly or softly aloud say this this combination of words of power. Of course, when you do this on your own, you can take as long as you need to. It's different with the group process, but this idea of omnipresence, one of the great facts about deity. If we can slowly get rid of our mistaken boundaries, which lead to the perception of mistaken identity, then we really will pervade all things, pervade all perceptions, and one day, repeatedly of course, merge with the boundless immutable principle, boundlessness and omnipresence. But you have to remove those false rings, pass not, and think of yourself in a higher and more expansive way. The old mystics used to say, break the twig and I am there. So pervading all space, pervading all form, omnipresence, param matmika, or paramamatmika. plus the Lakshmi name we've been cultivating for some of us these years. Now let us listen and give assent to the great word of power that has been given us at considerable sacrifice by the Christ as a harbinger of his return. Let us think about the importance of spreading this great word of power, the great invocation. let us align with the great Lord, the Christ, and his spiritual hierarchy. And feel the divine love sweeping through us. And through the group of the Blue Rose. And through imagined blue roses at your forehead and through your heart and through your hands and feet, we feel the divine love sweeping through, radiating. It is the great need at this time, combined with the intelligence, loving intelligence of Venus. And we offer our blessings to each other and to the world. I bless you, my beloved sisters, the mothers of the Christ. And then the Shiva aspect of our work. I bless you, my beloved brothers, the protectors of the Christ. And this Shiva aspect will come in more and more as we, at some point here, undertake the third section of our studies relating to the Cardinal Cross and to the Spirit. So, the star of initiation, the pentagram, the star of the soul, the pentagram, the star that flashes forth when first the door is passed. We visualize the sacred pentagram with the blue rose at the center. And we see ourselves standing in the center with the group of the Blue Rose, radiating to all humanity. Among them, the men and women of goodwill and the new group of world servers, the sacred energies of the sign of the month. And it is Virgo. And its purpose is to help build the chalice for the Christ in his energy, and more of that second ray energy comes through Virgo at this time than through any other sign. So Virgo, the guardian of the sacred flame, The Christ child is growing. Hopefully it is so in all of us. The mother is guarding and nurturing the new life in Christ. The Son, the Radiant One, is coming to life under that guardianship. And as it grows in us, we learn to serve the world and humanity with an all-forgiving attitude. For giving, DK tells us we must contemplate more than the meaning of pardon. It is literally for, as the Spirit does, for giving. So friends, we're building the chalice for the Buddhic energy, the Christ consciousness. We're nurturing the Christ life. We are helping in our own little way to prepare the way. Tomorrow in the evening, if some of you are interested, we'll have another one of those philosophical programs about what our identity is. It's the identity as being group. It's a webinar. And I think if you don't have it, the link, just write to me, infinitize8@gmail.com, or to Joe Waltz or to B.L. Allison, and we'll provide you with the link. It's quite late. It's actually 8 p.m. GMT, but we need to approach our work in terms of what is relative and divided and must be related in unity, and towards what also what is never divided, and that's what we are, really. So you can join us if you would like, and it'll be a webinar. So thank you, friends, and many blessings. I'm going to play the great invocation, verse 1, which is particularly connected with peace and goodwill, and the second ray energy.